guys, I just got done watching the 5th episode of Marvel's The Gifted series, and overall, another solid episode. I really enjoyed this episode. However, I will probably say this is definitely the darkest episode so far. It was actually quite depressing towards the end. There was a lot of emotional stakes in this episode. There's a lot of sad things I have to say in this episode because from where we left off from last episode, it was quite heroic, it was quite joyful. Our heroes were winning and the bad guys were losing. However, this episode really has a good twist on that because the episode actually starts with another flashback, a common theme that this show really has really has a gripe for it. So, well, not a gripe, it really has a thing for it in a way because every episode is started with a decent flashback. And this episode's, well, it's no question why they think they can do this because it works in every single episode. And I think in this one, as I said, it's a lot darker. So it starts with Agent Turner, the antagonist of this series so far, and we see his morals and sort of his beliefs on mutants because it's actually another flashback, as we said, on his family, and you can kind of see where this is going. And there's been sort of chatter throughout these 5 episodes of a terrorist attack called I think it's called the attack on O4. I can't quite remember what they called it. I think they're going to go more into depth, and I'll talk about that next week if they do. But yeah, we see this terrorist attack, these group of mutants. They go into a park and they kill all these families. And apparently, well, as we see, Agent Turner's daughter actually gets killed, and that's why he goes from being a normal policeman to sort of a prosecutor in the Bureau against mutants with superhuman abilities. And I thought that was crazy because now we know why he hates these mutants and how he treated Polaris so dirty in the prison. And there's actually a really great scene where Polaris actually kidnaps him and she kind of tortures him. But then towards the back half of the episode, the mutant that like messes with like people's minds with the purple smoke. I can't quite remember what her name is because there's so many names to remember in the show. It's crazy. But she's halfway through doing like a spell, like remembering his trauma because they're trying to find what happened with Pulse. Remember last episode, guys? They had the mutant that died, and they resurrected him and took over his mind. So she does a mind trick of her own, and she's only halfway of sort of constructing this spell, you could call it, as I said earlier. And the Bureau is like trying to gun like these windows down and like throw like tear gas grenades, and Blink has to like portal everyone out there. But she leaves, Agent Turner like strapped on this wall with this rebar that Polaris actually got round his neck because he put a collar on her, and she was like, oh well, he likes collars of his own, and they sort of escape. But the mutant that has the spell powers doesn't continue, like she doesn't finish her spell, and it's left his mind in a loop of the trauma. And there's a really sad scene where he goes back to his wife and he asks where his daughter is, and it's really cool how every episode sort of has something at the start that correlates to the ending, like they did last episode with the mutant at the start that died, and then obviously he came back. Pulse, as I said before, that was really cool, and obviously it happens again this episode, and it was so great. Just the emotional stakes in this episode were very high. And yeah, I also kind of like that the dad in this episode sort of took a back seat because there is a cool story with him, how he tries to gain the mutants' trust. And there's a cool mutant with a long beard that has like cloaking abilities. And well, his friend, the other one that has cloaking abilities, actually got shot last episode, as we mentioned. And there's also a great scene where the mum sort of operates on him. So her and the dad are actually trying to get the mutants' trust. I think that's really cool because obviously, as we know, he's a prosecutor there with the Bureau. So, he's got to gain their trust somehow. And overall, guys, another very strong episode in this first season of The Gifted. I actually can't remember it being this good. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'd probably give this episode a solid 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Really good episode, guys, and I can't wait to watch the next one. So stay tuned for episode 6. But yeah, what did you guys think of episode 5 of Marvel's Gifted? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.